everyone, it's Kayla from The Casual Crafter. So in the winter time, I really like incorporating snowflakes into my decor, as you can use it all winter long as opposed to just around Christmas. So today we're going to be doing some crafts that involve that. Some DIYs, some Dollar Tree and elsewhere. But yeah, let's go ahead and get right into it. So here I'm just taking a beaded garland that I had already made previously for fall. As you can see, it's just wood beads strung and some wooden leaves that I got from Dollar Tree attached to it. However, I will show you how I made it. Here I'm just taking some wire I got from Dollar Tree. It comes in a 4-pack, I believe. It's in the automotive section, and there's some black wire as well as some bright red wire. So I'm going to start stringing on these wooden beads I have. I can leave a link down below to the ones I got off of Amazon. I just got them in a multi-pack of different sizes. I believe these are the smallest size. So once I got those strung, I'm just gonna loop off the end so that they don't all fall off, and then use some wire cutters, pliers to trim the end, and then I have a garland similar to the one I made previously. So I'm going to be using that one I made previously. I'm just taking off these little chain pieces that I had put on there previously. You could use something like a paper clip to hook these on. But I'm going to go through and take all the leaves off that I had on there. And then I'm going to be taking these 2 packs of snowflakes that I got at 2 different Dollar Trees. They were 2 different shapes, so I thought it'd be interesting to add both. But they're just some wood snowflakes with a little hole in the top. So I'm just going to go through and attach those similar to how I did the leaves. I'm going to alternate which one I use. And in this case, I think I'm leaving 10 beads between each one. Then I'm just going to go through and alternate all 7. And there you have your own homemade garland. Up next, I'm going to be making some wooden snowflakes using these painter sticks that I got at Walmart. I believe they're right around $1 for 3 of them. I'm going to be using my miter box and saw and going through and cutting those down to some different lengths. One of them will be 12 inches each piece, so you're gonna need at least 2 packs of these paint sticks, probably 3, so about $3 worth. One of them I made half the size of the paint stick. I believe they're around 17 inches, and the one I made the full, or at least pretty close to the 17 inches. So here I was going to measure it out, and then I decided to mostly eyeball where 60 degrees would be, because they're supposed to there's 6 sides to a snowflake, so I was trying to mimic that. And then I just hot glue the middle. You can always add wood glue or a different kind of adhesive if you want these to be a little stronger, I guess. And then here I'm just taking some Jenga blocks that I got, they're tumbling tower pieces, I guess not exactly Jenga, that I got from the Dollar Tree. And I'm just hot gluing those at an angle on each of the ends of the smallest snowflake I'm making to kind of add some more dimension and depth to the overall look. And then here I'm taking some clothespins that I got from Dollar Tree. They come in a big pack. You get 2 sets of what you see here. And I'm actually going to be taking these all apart. This was a bit time consuming, I'm not going to lie, but I think it was worth it in the end. So I'm going to take those apart so that I can stain and paint them and not get it on the metal. If you don't care about that, you can just paint or stain the metal with it on there. Might be hard to get into some of those grooves though. So here I'm just going to be taking the wood stain, Varathane wood stain. It's supposed to be fast drying in dark walnut. And just a rag I had. And I'm going to go through and stain every single one of these clothespins. So you need 12 for each snowflake that you're making. So 2 can go on each end. Altogether 24, but 12 of each color or stain or whatever you choose to do. So then I'm going to go through taking the same stain, and this was the largest snowflake I ended up making. And I'm going to use that same stain and stain the painter sticks. I think these were around the 17-inch mark. So I was using a foam brush, and then I used the rag as well to wipe some of it off. And then for the medium-sized one, which I think was around 12 inches in size, I'm going through just with some apple barrel white paint. I believe it was in Snow White. It's going to cover both sides. If it gets turned around, then I don't want it to be just blank on the back. And then I'm going to be going through on the clothespins and painting those as well. I believe on the snowflake itself I did give it more than 1 coat of the apple barrel, but if you use something like a chalk paint, you may be able to get better coverage. I think with the clothespins, I gave them a single coat and then maybe did some touch-ups where necessary, but I didn't worry too hard about every single crevice. So once those are done and dry, you're going to go back in with the metal pieces you took off and reattach them. I used some pliers because I thought it would help me just because of the spring-loaded aspect of it. I didn't want to pinch my fingers. But it's actually pretty easy to put back together, it's just a little time-consuming. So I went through with all of them, and I did that. And then I started attaching them to the snowflake form that I made out of the painter sticks, and just kind of angled them how I wanted to on the ends of each of them. Similar to what I did with the Jenga blocks, only with the clothespins. And then I'm going to go do the same thing with the stained ones that I did. Again, reattaching all the metal bits. Again, this was time consuming, but it wasn't hard. And again, I'm just going to do the same thing I did with the white snowflake and go through and angle them however I wish on each end of the painter sticks. One thing that's nice about this is if you decide you don't want to use it anymore, it wasn't very expensive, and you can use the clothespins, other tasks you want to do, or any other crafts you might want to make. And then for the small snowflake that I made with the Jenga blocks, I'm just going to go through and paint that a black color. Just any acrylic paint will work. So here I'm just taking some canvases that I got from Dollar Tree. They're the stretch canvases, so they have a back where they're stapled. So I'm going to take all those staples out so I can use the wood frame that's behind them. I believe these are just in the 5x7 size, pretty small. So I'm using a combination of a screwdriver and my pliers to get those staples out. Sometimes they can be a little tricky, but I will say in general it's usually not too hard to get them loose. So then I'm going to take the canvas off the back and I'm left with this wood frame, as you see. I'm going to be using both the canvas that's left and the frame. I'm going to do it again with this other one. But I will say, this one is the first time I've had it. They had those staple marks on both sides, which is not ideal for what I wanted to do because I wanted to stain the frame. So I ended up changing on the spot. I got another canvas. Luckily I had another one on hand, but I decided with the leftover one that I was going to end up painting it, so I wasn't as worried about the staple marks showing. Again, I'm just taking that Varathane stain, I believe in dark walnut. And once that's done, I'm going to take some of these wood snowflakes that you saw me use earlier. I just got them in a 5-pack from Dollar Tree. And I'm going to be staining those as well. So I'm going to be using some of this all putty that I got from Dollar Tree as well, just in their automotive hardware aisle. And filling in that little hole on the end best I could. I didn't know if this was going to work beforehand, but I decided to try and add some stain over it. And I had to add quite a bit, but I think it ended up looking okay in the end. And then I'm doing the same thing with these snowflakes that I got. These are the different style that I had. And I'm going to be painting everything you see here in just black acrylic paint. I also tried to fill those staple holes of the canvas I got. That was kind of weird. So once those are painted, I'm going to be taking the canvases I had and the different frames I had for them. I'm going to be using the wood frame and a black snowflake for each. So I'm just going to hot glue really quickly around before the glue dries and attach it to the back of the canvas. And then after that, I'm just going to go around each edge and use a box cutter to cut along the edges best I can. You could always cut it beforehand, but I preferred doing this way. It seemed easier to me. So then you're left with the canvas in the back of the frame. And I did that with all the frames and canvases I had. And then I'm going to be attaching those snowflakes that I colored the opposite colors of each. So the black in the brown wood frame and the brown in the black wood frame. They don't take very much to hold on. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure you like and comment down below if you like this content. Be sure and subscribe to my channel, and yeah, thanks again. Bye.